Hey guys, welcome back to another outdoor core video. Today we're kind of gonna do something a little bit different than what I did for my last two videos. We're going to go over some trout baits, what baits I use for trout, like spinners or power bait, live bait. I kind of wanted to do this just to show new anglers what kind of things they can do for trout fishing. Pennsylvania trout fishing is happening on Saturday, so I kind of want to get this out on time so people can kind of take a look and get some ideas of what to do. So first off, one of the things I like to do is I have this right here. I keep all my bait in it, all my spinners, all my gear for trout season because I got really tired of going into my backpack and trying to find stuff or a tackle box. I mean, it's just a lot of just a lot of gear to be pulling around with your camera gear. So I wanted to get something a little more easier to get to. I mean, my friend was making fun of me for having basically a fanny pack here. Thanks, Chad. But it just goes on like this. Obviously, like a fanny pack, you put it on, and you can easily access just whatever you want for fishing gear. See, I already have my tackle box right there, the little one that you can just pull out and use. And I usually have it to the side of me, so then I can just kind of have it right here instead of in front of me. Because I mean, I could do that too, and put the rod right here. I mean, it's more for probably like drinks and stuff, but it's a cool rod holder. But you can use this right here to drink. It's from, what is this? Pacific. I think that's how you say Pacific. I'm probably wrong, but in case you're looking on Amazon, this is on Amazon for about $20. And it's a really good thing I'm going to be using this year. A good pack to have my baits and everything. So there you go, in case you guys want to use that. But hey, if you want to use a tackle box or a backpack, like I used to always use that, never a bad idea. Never a bad idea. I mean, it's really just preference of what you like. But to get into kind of what baits I have, I'm going to pull out all my gear on what I use and kind of show you guys what I do with them and what helps me catch trout. I'm just gonna pull out everything right here. It's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's empty now. So I got another camera to get close-ups right here. So I'm just gonna start with the first thing I have. Got some power bait. They're just some basically red worms, pink worms if you want to call it that. I use them a lot for trout because they make a lot of action in the water. Like when they're in there, they're all going around like this, and it grabs attention of the trout to come to them, and they kind of come in a string. So right here, you would just kind of just break it off right where the smallest part is. Then you could put that on your hook. Let me get a good size hook here so you can see what I kind of do with it. Hopefully you can see this. So I have the size 8 hook right here, small hook. You can either wacky rig it. I actually have a lot of luck with this one. You can just have it right there, or if you want, you can just put it straight on. So it's just so you put a little bit on like this, like if you put it like a worm, have it kind of just wiggling around. Just put on straight like that, and that seems to work a lot too. I'm gonna put this bait back, and I'm gonna show you another bait I use. I mean, here's kind of the same thing right here, except it's just orange. So you do the exact same thing with that. You could wacky rig it, put it on straight, however you would put a worm on, and that seems to attract a lot of. This one I actually had the most luck with last year, so those are really good to have. What else we got here? Here's one of my favorite ones. This I've had a lot of luck with. I mean, I've constantly had trout pulling this. This is called a mouse tail. So basically with a mouse tail, it kind of has this to keep it on the floor of the creek, stream, whatever you're fishing on. And what I like to do is I like to put it in the middle of it right here. Or if you want, you can always put the opposite way so it's down like this. In case anybody heard that, that's my cat just messing around. So yeah, I will just get a lot of action right there from the stream pushing it. But it's given me so much luck. It's another power bait. It's called a mouse tail. I highly suggest it. I've had great luck with it, and it is like I get at least one trout or more when I go out the first day with one of these. So if anybody has any other suggestions too for baits, just put it in the comments below. I like to try to kind of like expand my reach on baits and use different things and, you know, learn more about catching trout. It doesn't last too long here in Pennsylvania because, well, at least where I'm out down in the south of Pennsylvania, it doesn't last long because one, it gets fished out so fast, and two, trout end up dying in the summer pretty fast when the water gets too warm. They die really fast. But I mean, for me, it lasts up until the end of May, and then that's when I kind of switch up. You know, when bass season, or, you know, pike or walleye, muskie if I get one. But here's another piece of equipment I like to use. I mean, everybody knows what this is usually. Water Gremlins, split shots. Kind of put them, I put them about 12 inches or probably like 6 to 12 inches on my line from my bait, and they really seem to, you know, keep it down. And I always keep using them. I mean, they're awesome to have. That's what I've used ever since I started fishing. But this actually works too, surprisingly. Shrimp eggs, Mike shrimp eggs. They're real. I mean, they get some bites, but the shrimp flavor usually is the best one. Trout love the shrimp bait for some reason. I mean, you can also get shrimp too. Like you can go to like a local like Turkey Hill gas station, and they'll have live bait here in Pennsylvania, and sometimes you can get like little shrimp that are like flavored. They're already dead, but you know, they're nice to have too. Here's another thing. This is a chain string, a stringer. Oh my gosh, I am not having a good time. Remember what this was called, stringer, but that's good for, you know, stringing up your trout after you catch them. If you want to keep them in the water, keep them alive for a little bit. A lot of people do that. They'll just keep them in the water, keep them alive. I don't do that. I kind of dispatch them right away and then gut them real quick so you get that fishy smell out of there, and it helps. It really does help, you know, keep the flavor of the trout, and it won't give you like a fishy taste, which is, to me, is nasty. But Here's a couple other baits I like to use. We got yellow rooster tail. They're nice to have. I haven't caught anything on this specifically, but maybe this year. Here's another rooster tail. You can see it has trout colors on it. The bright orange. I've caught a couple on this, but my favorite rooster tail is definitely the pink, green, and white. That one has been amazing. I have caught so many trout off of that, and I will keep using it. I think it's a great spinner to have. And my last one here for spinners, I think so. Let me check real quick. I might have some on this side too. I actually have one more. One of my favorite is the Panther Martin. Now this is number 6, which it's good for bigger trout, but my favorite Panther Martin like that is the number 4. The number 4 has been amazing. I've caught so many trout with this. It works every year. I got about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I carry about like 6 of these when I go trout fishing. I mean, because there's a lot of snags. There's a lot of snags in streams, creeks. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. You're going to get snagged and you're going to end up losing it. I mean, unless you're in your waders, which I go out sometimes in, and you just go and you can pick it up off the rock or the trees. Trees are always in the way in streams. You'll get snagged on that all the time. That's what always happens to me at some point. Here's another one right here. I'm sure everybody's very familiar with this. This is a trout magnet. It's a little dirty from last year. I got some dirt in my tackle box here, but yeah, those are really nice to have. Trout do like them a lot. I don't use them really that much, but they do work. Here's the other one. This is more the brown trout rooster tail right here. That one's awesome too. I've caught a lot. That's only 1/8. I don't have to get a bigger one, but this one right here is awesome for trout. That has gotten me a lot. And if you want, you got oh, hold on a second. We got some treble hooks that are tangled up here. This one right here. Here's another Panther Martin right here. That's the red and yellow color, and that's a good one to have too. I like to have that one. And I mean, I've actually caught mostly bass off of it, which is kind of, that happens. I mean, those still work with bass. And we also have this one. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's got a nice pattern on it. It's a type of spinner, and it works too. I've caught 1 or 2 trout on it last year. And also got here. I also bring, of course, a stringer. I get that all tangled up in the treble hook, but here we go. We got the stringer right here. Everybody uses that. I mean, it's a great way to get your trout. And then I usually like find like a log or something to tie it to, and just put the trout through, and hopefully the trout doesn't get off. And here's a worm stringer. If you used it before, this worm stringer, you kind of just put your worm through this, and then put your hook at the end there, and then kind of slide your worm all the way up through your hook and up kind of like on your line, and works nicely. I do leave a bit like left to kind of like wiggle around to get some action, but trout will still smell that worm, and they'll go after it. And of course, we got the tongs, or I can't remember exactly what they're called. I call them tongs. pincers, whatever. You know, use this a lot just in case you're catch and release, and you can kind of pull your hooks out of the trout, so you can use your bait again for one, or two if you're catch and release and you don't want to keep that hook in there on that trout. But that's it. That's what I use for trout fishing. But another thing I would use, obviously worms, live bait. A lot of people have told me to use fatheads. Fatheads work, minnows work, and if you can get the little shrimp, you kind of have to, like, there's small shrimp you can buy at the store. Those work too. I have not had much luck on them, but I would definitely suggest fatheads and, I mean, of course, trout worms, but fatheads are going. I've caught many trout with that, and like they say, there's nothing better than live bait. So that's it for all I use. I hope you guys learned something and you seen some baits that you like and you want to go out and get for trout. But I'm going to tell you right now, these are great to have. That's what I usually catch my trout on. And you know, if you have another suggestion or something you like to use for trout fishing, please put it in the comments below. Sorry about that. Put it in the comments below and let me know. So then maybe I can go out and I can learn something. But I hope this video helped you today. I hope that you learned something. But I also want to say thanks for hanging out today. That's it for this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.